Question 1. Scenario-based question. Mr. Davis is an insurance claims adjuster handling a surplus lines insurance claim in Idaho. He receives a claim involving extensive property damage due to a fire. During the investigation, Mr. Davis discovers that the insured failed to disclose a previous fire incident at the same property 2 years ago, which resulted in minor repairs. What should Mr. Davis do? A. Deny the claim based on the insured's failure to disclose the previous fire incident. B. Process the claim without considering the prior incident as it did not affect the current claim's cause of loss. C. Inform the insured about the non-disclosure and request further documentation. D. Seek legal advice before making any decision on the claim. Answer. C. Inform the insured about the non-disclosure and request further documentation. Explanation. In Idaho, as in many other states, surplus lines insurance claims must adhere to strict guidelines regarding the insured's duty of disclosure. When an insured fails to disclose material information such as a previous fire incident, it is essential for the claims adjuster, Mr. Davis in this case, to notify the insured promptly. This notification should request additional documentation and information related to the prior incident. By doing so, Mr. Davis ensures transparency in the claims handling process and gathers all necessary facts to evaluate the current claim accurately. Question 2. Policy analysis. In surplus lines insurance, what is a common characteristic of policies that distinguishes them from standard admitted insurance policies? A. Policies are exempt from state regulatory oversight. B. Policies often cover unique risks or higher limits than standard policies. C. Policies do not require premium payment until after a claim is paid. D. Policies cannot be cancelled by the insurer once issued. Answer. B. Policies often cover unique risks or higher limits than standard policies. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance policies are typically used to cover risks that standard admitted insurers do not underwrite due to their unique or unusual nature or because they exceed the capacity or appetite of admitted carriers. This includes risks with higher limits of liability or those that are hard to place due to specific circumstances. Such policies are not regulated in the same way as admitted insurance policies, but they still need to comply with surplus lines laws and regulations, including reporting and tax obligations. Question 3. Claims evaluation. During a surplus lines insurance claims evaluation process in Idaho, what is the primary objective of reserving and estimating claim costs? A. To establish financial reserves for potential future claim payments. B. To determine the insured's liability for the claim. C. To negotiate a settlement agreement with the insured. D. To allocate expenses between the insurer and reinsurer. Answer. A. To establish financial reserves for potential future claim payments. Explanation. Reserving and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance is crucial to ensure that insurers set aside adequate funds to cover future claim payments. This process involves evaluating the extent of the loss, estimating potential expenses, and forecasting the financial impact on the insurer. It is a fundamental aspect of claims management to maintain financial stability and fulfill obligations to policyholders. Question 4. Claims settlement. In surplus lines insurance claims settlement negotiations in Idaho, what ethical considerations should claims professionals prioritize? A. Maximizing insurers' profitability by minimizing claim payouts. B. Ensuring timely and fair compensation to insureds based on policy terms. C. Withholding information from insureds to leverage settlement negotiations. D. Delaying claims processing to encourage insureds to accept low settlements. Answer. B. Ensuring timely and fair compensation to insureds based on policy terms. Explanation. Ethical considerations in surplus lines claims handling require claims professionals to prioritize fairness and transparency throughout the settlement process. In Idaho, as in other states, claims professionals are expected to uphold the highest ethical standards by ensuring insureds receive prompt and equitable compensation as per the terms of their insurance policies. This includes providing clear communication, respecting the insured's rights, and avoiding tactics that could unfairly disadvantage the insured. Question 5. Claims litigation. During the litigation process in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho, what role does documentation and evidence play? A. They are unnecessary since litigation focuses solely on legal arguments. B. They serve as critical support for the insurer's defense or the insured's claim. C. They determine the outcome of the litigation regardless of legal arguments. D. They are required only if requested by the court during the trial. Answer: B. They serve as critical support for the insurer's defense or the insured's claim. Explanation: in surplus lines insurance claims litigation in Idaho, documentation and evidence play a crucial role in supporting legal arguments presented by both parties. Comprehensive documentation, including claim files, policy provisions, correspondence, and expert reports, helps substantiate the insurer's position or the insured's claim. It provides factual support for assertions made during legal proceedings and assists in demonstrating compliance with regulatory requirements and policy terms. Question 6. Regulatory compliance. Which statement accurately reflects the regulatory framework for surplus lines insurance in Idaho? A. Surplus lines insurers are exempt from reporting requirements in Idaho. B. Surplus lines insurance transactions must be approved by the state's insurance commissioner. C. Surplus lines insurers are not required to pay premium taxes in Idaho. D. Surplus lines insurance policies are not subject to any consumer protection laws. Answer: B. Surplus lines insurance transactions must be approved by the state's insurance commissioner. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance is regulated to ensure consumer protection and adherence to state laws. Surplus lines insurance transactions must be reported and approved by the state insurance commissioner to verify compliance with surplus lines laws, including licensing requirements, policy issuance, and financial oversight. This regulatory oversight helps maintain market stability and protect consumers from unauthorized insurers. Question 7. Policy provisions. Which of the following is typically true regarding exclusions in surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho? A. Exclusions must be explicitly listed in the policy to be enforceable. B. Exclusions are interpreted strictly against the insured. C. Exclusions are prohibited in surplus lines insurance policies. D. Exclusions must be approved by the state's insurance commissioner. Answer: B. Exclusions are interpreted strictly against the insured. Explanation: in surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho, exclusions are typically construed against the insurer if there is ambiguity or uncertainty in their interpretation. This principle ensures that policyholders are provided with maximum coverage under the terms of their policies, consistent with the principles of insurance contract interpretation. While exclusions do not need explicit approval by the state's insurance commissioner, they must be clearly stated in the policy and comply with Idaho's regulatory requirements. Question 8. Claims investigation. During a claims investigation in surplus lines insurance in Idaho, why is it important to utilize outside experts and specialists? A. To shift liability away from the insurer in case of disputes. B. To delay the claims process until additional information is obtained. C. To provide unbiased assessments and expertise in complex areas. D. To minimize claim payouts by disputing expert opinions. Answer: C. To provide unbiased assessments and expertise in complex areas. Explanation: utilizing outside experts and specialists in surplus lines claims investigation in Idaho is essential to obtain impartial and expert opinions on complex aspects of the claim. These experts can offer specialized knowledge in areas such as engineering, forensics, or legal matters, providing valuable insights that aid in accurately assessing the claim's validity and scope. Their unbiased assessments contribute to fair and informed claims decisions, aligning with regulatory expectations for thorough claims investigations. Question 9. Claims process. In surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho, what is the significance of effective communication and documentation? A. They ensure compliance with premium tax reporting requirements. B. They expedite the denial of claims based on insufficient evidence. C. They support accurate claims evaluation and mitigate disputes. D. They are required only if litigation is anticipated. Answer: C. They support accurate claims evaluation and mitigate disputes. Explanation: effective communication and documentation play a crucial role in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho by supporting accurate claims evaluation and reducing the likelihood of disputes. Clear and timely communication with insureds, stakeholders, and regulatory bodies ensures transparency and compliance with regulatory requirements throughout the claims process. Comprehensive documentation, including claim files, correspondence, and evidence, provides a thorough record of the claims progression and facilitates informed decision-making by claims professionals. Question 10. Claims handling process. What is a key difference between surplus lines insurance claims handling and standard admitted insurance claims handling in Idaho? A. Surplus lines claims are processed faster due to fewer regulatory requirements. B. Surplus lines claims must involve litigation to be resolved. C. Surplus lines claims involve non-traditional risks not covered by admitted insurers. D. Surplus lines claims do not require documentation of loss. Answer: C. Surplus lines claims involve non-traditional risks not covered by admitted insurers. Explanation: one of the primary purposes of surplus lines insurance is to provide coverage for risks that standard admitted insurers do not cover due to their unique or non-traditional nature. These risks can include unusual hazards, high limits of liability, or specific circumstances that exceed the capacity or appetite of admitted insurers. Therefore, surplus lines claims handling involves addressing these unique risks and tailoring coverage to meet the insured's needs, which is a distinguishing factor from standard admitted insurance claims handling. Question 11. Claims evaluation. During the evaluation of a surplus lines insurance claim in Idaho, what role does loss adjustment play? A. Determining whether the claim is fraudulent. B. Calculating the insured's liability for the claim. C. Assessing the extent and value of the claim. D. Negotiating a settlement agreement with the insured. Answer: C. Assessing the extent and value of the claim. Explanation: in Idaho, loss adjustment in surplus lines insurance claims involves assessing the extent and value of the claim to determine the appropriate amount of compensation owed to the insured. This process includes investigating the circumstances of the loss, gathering evidence, and applying loss adjustment techniques to quantify the financial impact on the insured. By accurately assessing the extent and value of the claim, claims professionals can make informed decisions regarding coverage and settlement, ensuring fair and timely resolution for the insured. Question 12. Ethics and professionalism. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals prioritize when handling claims in Idaho? A. Maximizing insurer profitability through claims denial. B. Advocating for the insured's best interests within policy terms. C. Offering undisclosed settlements to expedite claim resolution. D. Ignoring conflicts of interest to streamline claims processing. Answer: B. Advocating for the insured's best interests within policy terms. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho are expected to prioritize ethical considerations by advocating for the insured's best interests within the confines of policy terms. This includes fair treatment, transparency in communication, and ensuring that the insured receives the benefits they are entitled to under the insurance policy. By prioritizing the insured's interests, claims professionals uphold ethical standards and maintain trust in the claims handling process. Question 13. Regulatory compliance. What role does the Surplus Lines Stamping Office play in Idaho's regulatory framework for surplus lines insurance? A. Approving surplus lines policies before issuance. B. Collecting premium taxes and fees on surplus lines transactions. C. Investigating claims of fraud in surplus lines insurance. D. Providing training and education for surplus lines agents. Answer: B. Collecting premium taxes and fees on surplus lines transactions. Explanation: in Idaho, the Surplus Lines Stamping Office is responsible for collecting premium taxes and fees on surplus lines insurance transactions. This office ensures compliance with state regulations regarding surplus lines insurance, including reporting requirements and financial oversight. The premium taxes collected contribute to state revenue and support regulatory efforts to protect consumers and maintain market stability in surplus lines insurance. Question 14. Policy analysis. In surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho, what is the significance of understanding key terms and definitions? A. They determine the insured's coverage limits. B. They exclude certain perils from coverage. C. They dictate the premium payment schedule. D. They clarify the scope and limits of coverage. Answer: D. They clarify the scope and limits of coverage. Explanation: understanding key terms and definitions in surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho is crucial because they define the scope of coverage and establish the limits and conditions under which claims may be paid. Clear definitions help both insureds and claims professionals interpret policy provisions accurately and apply them to specific claim situations. This clarity ensures that coverage is correctly applied and avoids misunderstandings or disputes during the claims handling process. Question 15. Claims settlement. During surplus lines insurance claims settlement negotiations in Idaho, what is the importance of compliance with regulatory requirements? A. It ensures the insured receives fair compensation. B. It exempts the insurer from legal liability. C. It speeds up the settlement process. D. It allows for settlement without policyholder consent. Answer A. It ensures the insured receives fair compensation. Explanation: compliance with regulatory requirements during surplus lines insurance claims settlement negotiations in Idaho ensures that the insured receives fair compensation based on policy terms and legal standards. Regulatory compliance includes adherence to reporting obligations, documentation requirements, and fair claims practices mandated by state laws. By following these regulations, claims professionals demonstrate integrity and transparency in the settlement process, protecting the insured's rights and promoting trust in the insurance industry. Question 16. Claims investigation. In surplus lines insurance claims investigation in Idaho, what are the key considerations when interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in the claim? A. Establishing fault and liability for the claim. B. Gathering information relevant to coverage and causation. C. Concluding the investigation swiftly to expedite claim resolution. D. Obtaining signed waivers of liability from all parties involved. Answer: B. Gathering information relevant to coverage and causation. Explanation: during surplus lines insurance claims investigation in Idaho, it is crucial to gather information relevant to coverage and causation from insureds, witnesses, and other involved parties. This includes obtaining statements, collecting evidence, and documenting facts that clarify the circumstances surrounding the claim. By focusing on these key considerations, claims professionals can accurately assess the validity of the claim, determine coverage eligibility, and make informed decisions based on the available evidence. Question 17. Claims litigation. What is the role of alternative dispute resolution methods in surplus lines insurance claims litigation in Idaho? A. They replace the need for litigation entirely. B. They expedite the litigation process without settlement negotiations. C. They offer an opportunity to resolve disputes outside of court. D. They allow insurers to avoid compliance with regulatory requirements. Answer: C. They offer an opportunity to resolve disputes outside of court. Explanation: alternative dispute resolution methods, such as mediation or arbitration, play a significant role in surplus lines insurance claims litigation in Idaho by providing an opportunity to resolve disputes without proceeding to formal court litigation. These methods allow parties to negotiate and reach a settlement agreement through facilitated discussions, often resulting in quicker resolution and reduced litigation expenses. ADR promotes efficiency and flexibility in resolving disputes while maintaining control over the outcome through mutual agreement. Question 18. Surplus lines insurance policies. What distinguishes surplus lines insurance policies from standard admitted insurance policies in Idaho regarding regulatory oversight? A. Surplus lines policies are exempt from all regulatory oversight. B. Surplus lines policies are issued by unauthorized insurers. C. Surplus lines policies require additional premium taxes. D. Surplus lines policies are not subject to rate filing requirements. Answer: B. Surplus lines policies are issued by unauthorized insurers. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance policies are distinguished from standard admitted insurance policies because they are issued by insurers that are not licensed or admitted to do business in the state. These insurers are considered unauthorized insurers but are eligible to underwrite risks that admitted insurers do not cover. While surplus lines insurance is subject to specific regulatory requirements, such as surplus lines laws and reporting obligations, they are managed differently from standard admitted insurance policies due to their non-admitted status. Question 19. Claims evaluation. What factors should claims professionals consider when determining coverage and liability in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho? A. Insured's premium payment history. B. Policyholder's relationship with the insurer. C. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and regulatory requirements. D. Insurer's financial profitability. Answer: C. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and regulatory requirements. Explanation: when evaluating coverage and liability in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho, claims professionals should consider the policy terms, evidence gathered during the investigation, and compliance with regulatory requirements. This comprehensive assessment ensures that decisions regarding coverage and liability are based on the terms of the insurance policy, factual evidence related to the claim, and adherence to state regulations governing surplus lines insurance. By focusing on these factors, claims professionals can make informed and fair determinations that align with legal and ethical standards. Question 20. Surplus lines insurance policies. What distinguishes surplus lines insurance policies from standard admitted insurance policies in Idaho regarding regulatory oversight? A. Surplus lines policies are subject to less stringent regulatory requirements. B. Surplus lines policies cover more common risks. C. Surplus lines policies are issued by state-approved insurers only. D. Surplus lines policies must be approved by the state insurance commissioner. Answer A. Surplus lines policies are subject to less stringent regulatory requirements. Explanation. In Idaho, surplus lines insurance policies are distinguished from standard admitted insurance policies by being subject to less stringent regulatory requirements. Surplus lines policies cover non-traditional or unique risks that admitted insurers may not cover, and they are issued by insurers that are not licensed or admitted in the state. While surplus lines insurance is regulated to ensure consumer protection and compliance with surplus lines laws, the regulatory oversight is typically less rigorous compared to standard admitted insurance policies. Question 21. Claims ethics. What ethical consideration is critical for surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho when handling claims disputes? A. Advocating for the insurer's financial interests. B. Ensuring equitable treatment of all parties involved. C. Resolving claims disputes without involving legal counsel. D. Maximizing insurer profitability through claims denials. Answer B. Ensuring equitable treatment of all parties involved. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho are ethically obligated to ensure equitable treatment of all parties involved when handling claims disputes. This includes maintaining fairness, transparency, and respect for the rights of insureds and other stakeholders throughout the claims process. By prioritizing equitable treatment, claims professionals uphold ethical standards and promote trust and confidence in the insurance industry. Question 22. Surplus lines insurance policies. What are the primary advantages of surplus lines insurance policies compared to standard admitted insurance policies in Idaho? A. Low premiums and higher coverage limits. B. Guaranteed coverage for all types of risks. C. Exemption from state insurance regulations. D. Unlimited liability coverage for insureds. Answer A. Low premiums and higher coverage limits. Explanation. One of the primary advantages of surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho is that they often offer low premiums and higher coverage limits compared to standard admitted insurance policies. Surplus lines insurers specialize in covering non-standard or high-risk exposures that admitted insurers may not be willing to cover, providing more tailored and flexible coverage options to insureds. While surplus lines insurance policies are subject to specific regulatory requirements, they can offer cost-effective solutions for unique or hard-to-place risks. Question 23. Claims settlement. What factors should claims professionals consider when negotiating a settlement agreement in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho? A. Minimizing insurers' financial liability. B. Adhering strictly to policy terms and exclusions. C. Resolving the claim swiftly without further investigation. D. Achieving a fair and reasonable outcome for all parties involved. Answer D. Achieving a fair and reasonable outcome for all parties involved. Explanation. When negotiating a settlement agreement in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho, claims professionals should prioritize achieving a fair and reasonable outcome for all parties involved. This includes considering the insured's coverage entitlements under the policy, assessing the evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. Negotiating. A fair settlement promotes resolution of the claim while maintaining ethical standards and trust in the claims handling process. Question 24. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What is the significance of maintaining compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho? A. It ensures surplus lines insurers avoid financial losses. B. It protects insureds from unfair claims practices. C. It exempts insurers from regulatory oversight. D. It speeds up the claims handling process. Answer. B. It protects insureds from unfair claims practices. Explanation: maintaining compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho is critical because it protects insureds from unfair treatment and ensures they receive the benefits and protections promised under their insurance policies. These practices include prompt claims investigation, accurate claims evaluation, and fair settlement negotiations, all of which contribute to maintaining trust and integrity in the insurance industry. By adhering to these standards, claims professionals uphold ethical principles and regulatory requirements, fostering a positive claims experience for insureds. Question 25. Claims handling process. What are the key differences between surplus lines insurance claims handling and standard admitted insurance claims handling in Idaho? A. Surplus lines claims involve non-traditional risks and insurers not licensed in the state. B. Surplus lines claims require higher premiums and lower coverage limits. C. Surplus lines claims are exempt from all regulatory requirements. D. Surplus lines claims involve quicker settlement times than standard insurance claims. Answer: A. Surplus lines claims involve non-traditional risks and insurers not licensed in the state. Explanation: one of the primary differences between surplus lines insurance claims handling and standard admitted insurance claims handling in Idaho is that surplus lines claims often involve non-traditional risks that standard admitted insurers may not cover. Additionally, surplus lines insurers are not licensed or admitted in the state where the risk is located, which allows them to provide coverage for unique or hard-to-place risks. While surplus lines insurance is subject to specific regulatory requirements, it offers flexibility and tailored solutions for insureds facing unconventional risks. Question 26. Claims investigation. What role do outside experts and specialists play in surplus lines insurance claims investigation in Idaho? A. Providing legal counsel to insureds during claims disputes. B. Conducting independent investigations to validate claim legitimacy. C. Negotiating settlement agreements with insureds and claimants. D. Approving claims payments based on policy terms. Answer: B. Conducting independent investigations to validate claim legitimacy. Explanation: in surplus lines insurance claims investigation in Idaho, outside experts and specialists play a crucial role by conducting independent investigations to validate the legitimacy of the claim. These experts may include forensic accountants, engineers, appraisers, or other professionals with specialized knowledge relevant to the specific claim circumstances. Their objective assessments and findings provide valuable insights that help claims professionals make informed decisions regarding coverage, liability, and claims resolution. Question 27. Ethics and professionalism. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals prioritize when handling claims in Idaho? A. Maximizing insurer profitability through claims denials. B. Advocating for fair treatment and timely resolution for insureds. C. Disclosing confidential information without policyholder consent. D. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claims processing. Answer: B. Advocating for fair treatment and timely resolution for insureds. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize ethical considerations by advocating for fair treatment and timely resolution for insureds. This includes transparent communication, adherence to policy terms, and ensuring that insureds receive the benefits they are entitled to under their insurance policies. By prioritizing fair treatment, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, promote trust in the insurance industry, and mitigate potential disputes or regulatory issues. Question 28. Regulatory compliance. What are the primary responsibilities of surplus lines insurance brokers in Idaho regarding regulatory compliance? A. Setting premium rates for surplus lines policies. B. Issuing surplus lines policies directly to insureds. C. Ensuring the surplus lines insurer is eligible and authorized. D. Collecting premium taxes on surplus lines transactions. Answer: C. Ensuring the surplus lines insurer is eligible and authorized. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance brokers have a primary responsibility to ensure that the surplus lines insurer they place business with is eligible and authorized to underwrite insurance in the state. This includes verifying the insurer's eligibility through the state surplus lines list and ensuring compliance with state regulations governing surplus lines insurance. Brokers play a crucial role in facilitating transactions between insureds and surplus lines insurers while adhering to regulatory requirements to protect consumers and maintain market stability. Question 29. Claims settlement. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals consider when evaluating and estimating claim costs in Idaho? A. Insured's payment history and credit score. B. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and expert opinions. C. Broker's commission on the insurance policy. D. Premium taxes paid on the policy. Answer: B. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and expert opinions. Explanation: when evaluating and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho, claims professionals should consider policy terms, evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and expert opinions relevant to the claim. These factors help in assessing the extent of loss, determining coverage eligibility, and estimating the financial impact of the claim on the insurer. By leveraging comprehensive information and expert insights, claims professionals can make informed decisions that align with policy provisions and regulatory requirements. Question 30. Claims litigation. How does surplus lines insurance claims litigation differ from standard admitted insurance claims litigation in Idaho? A. Surplus lines claims require mandatory arbitration. B. Surplus lines claims involve unauthorized insurers. C. Surplus lines claims follow federal court jurisdiction. D. Surplus lines claims may lack certain state protections. Answer: D. Surplus lines claims may lack certain state protections. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance claims litigation may differ from standard admitted insurance claims litigation because surplus lines insurers are not licensed or admitted in the state. This lack of licensure may result in surplus lines claims lacking certain state protections or regulatory benefits that are typically available to insureds under admitted insurance policies. While surplus lines insurance is regulated to ensure consumer protection and compliance with surplus lines laws, the litigation process and outcomes may vary due to the insurer's non-admitted status. Question 31. Surplus lines insurance policies. What are the key considerations for surplus lines insurance policies regarding policy provisions and coverage limitations in Idaho? A. All surplus lines policies have standardized policy provisions. B. Policyholders can negotiate policy provisions with insurers. C. Surplus lines policies must adhere to state-mandated coverage limits. D. Understanding policy language and exclusions is crucial. Answer: D. Understanding policy language and exclusions is crucial. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance policies vary in their policy provisions and coverage limitations, and it's essential for claims professionals to understand the specific terms, conditions, and exclusions of each policy. Surplus lines policies are not standardized like admitted insurance policies, and insurers may have flexibility in drafting terms based on risk assessment and underwriting criteria. Therefore, claims professionals must carefully interpret and apply policy language to accurately determine coverage and liability in claims handling. Question 32. Claims evaluation. What role does documentation play in surplus lines insurance claims evaluation in Idaho? A. Documentation is unnecessary in surplus lines claims handling. B. Documentation provides evidence to support claim decisions. C. Documentation is limited to policy issuance only. D. Documentation is the sole responsibility of the insured. Answer: B. Documentation provides evidence to support claim decisions. Explanation: in surplus lines insurance claims evaluation in Idaho, documentation plays a crucial role by providing evidence to support claim decisions, validate coverage, and comply with regulatory requirements. Claims professionals must maintain comprehensive documentation throughout the claims handling process, including policy details, correspondence, investigation reports, and settlement agreements. This documentation serves as a record of the claim's progress, supports decision-making, and ensures transparency in claims handling practices. Question 33. Claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals prioritize when handling claims disputes in Idaho? A. Maximizing insurer profitability through claims denials. B. Maintaining confidentiality of insured information. C. Expediting claim settlements without thorough investigation. D. Ensuring fairness and transparency in claims resolution. Answer: D. Ensuring fairness and transparency in claims resolution. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize ethical considerations by ensuring fairness and transparency in claims resolution. This includes treating insureds and stakeholders with respect, providing clear and accurate information throughout the claims process, and adhering to policy terms and regulatory requirements. By upholding ethical standards, claims professionals promote trust, integrity, and professionalism in the insurance industry, fostering positive relationships with insureds and maintaining compliance with legal and regulatory standards. Question 34. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What are the key differences between surplus lines insurance claims investigation and standard admitted insurance claims investigation in Idaho? A. Surplus lines claims investigation involves state regulators. B. Surplus lines claims investigation requires less documentation. C. Surplus lines claims investigation may involve non-admitted insurers. D. Surplus lines claims investigation excludes expert opinions. Answer: C. Surplus lines claims investigation may involve non-admitted insurers. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance claims investigation differs from standard admitted insurance claims investigation primarily because surplus lines insurers are non-admitted or unauthorized to underwrite insurance in the state. This distinction allows surplus lines insurers to cover non-standard risks that admitted insurers may decline, and claims investigations may involve coordination with insurers not licensed within the state. Claims professionals handling surplus lines claims must navigate these differences while ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements and maintaining thorough documentation and evidence gathering. Question 35. Claims settlement. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals consider when negotiating a settlement agreement in Idaho? A. Maximizing insurer profitability through settlement. B. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and insured's interests. C. Excluding insured's legal representation in negotiations. D. Avoiding settlement discussions with claimants. Answer: B. Policy terms, evidence gathered, and insured's interests. Explanation: when negotiating a settlement agreement in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho, claims professionals should consider policy terms, evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and the insured's interests. Evaluating these factors ensures that settlement negotiations are based on the terms of the insurance policy, factual evidence related to the claim, and fair consideration of the insured's rights and entitlements. By prioritizing these considerations, claims professionals can achieve equitable and mutually acceptable settlement outcomes while upholding ethical standards and regulatory compliance. Question 36. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What are the potential challenges faced by surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho during claims litigation? A. Lack of access to legal counsel. B. Limited resources for expert opinions. C. Jurisdictional issues due to non-admitted insurers. D. Exemption from court procedures. Answer: C. Jurisdictional issues due to non-admitted insurers. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho may face challenges during claims litigation, primarily due to jurisdictional issues arising from the involvement of non-admitted insurers. Surplus lines insurers are not licensed or admitted in the state where the risk is located, which can complicate legal proceedings, jurisdictional determinations, and enforcement of court decisions. Claims professionals must navigate these challenges while ensuring compliance with legal requirements, coordinating with legal counsel, and advocating for insured's rights and interests throughout the litigation process. Question 37. Regulatory compliance. What are the implications of surplus lines insurance policies being exempt from state guarantee funds in Idaho? A. Insureds receive higher claim payouts. B. Insurers are exempt from paying premium taxes. C. Insureds may not receive financial protection in case of insurer insolvency. D. Insurers can issue policies without state approval. Answer: C. Insureds may not receive financial protection in case of insurer insolvency. Explanation: in Idaho, surplus lines insurance policies are exempt from state guarantee funds, which are designed to protect policyholders in case of insurer insolvency. This exemption means that insureds may not have access to the financial protections typically provided by guarantee funds for claims payments or coverage in the event of insurer financial failure. Therefore, it's crucial for surplus lines claims professionals to inform insureds about this exemption and advise them on risk management strategies to mitigate potential financial risks associated with non-admitted insurers. Question 38. Claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals prioritize when handling claims involving catastrophic losses in Idaho? A. Delaying claims processing to minimize insurer liabilities. B. Expediting settlements to reduce insured's financial burden. C. Ensuring timely communication and support for insureds. D. Limiting access to legal representation for insureds. Answer. C. Ensuring timely communication and support for insureds. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize ethical considerations by ensuring timely communication and support for insureds, particularly in cases involving catastrophic losses. Effective communication helps manage insured's expectations, provides updates on claim progress, and offers support during challenging circumstances. By prioritizing these ethical standards, claims professionals demonstrate empathy, professionalism, and transparency in their interactions with insureds, thereby enhancing trust and satisfaction throughout the claims handling process. Question 39. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine coverage and liability in complex claims scenarios? A. By denying claims to reduce insurer exposure. B. By interpreting policy language and conducting thorough investigations. C. By excluding insureds from claims decision-making. D. By offering settlements regardless of policy terms. Answer. B. By interpreting policy language and conducting thorough investigations. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine coverage and liability in complex claims scenarios by carefully interpreting policy language, assessing evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and applying relevant legal principles. This process involves reviewing the specifics of the policy, evaluating the circumstances of the claim, and considering any applicable exclusions or limitations. Thorough investigations and expert opinions may also play a crucial role in substantiating claims decisions and ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. Question 40. Surplus lines insurance policy analysis. What are the key differences between surplus lines insurance policies and standard admitted insurance policies in Idaho? A. Surplus lines policies offer broader coverage than admitted policies. B. Surplus lines policies are regulated by federal laws only. C. Surplus lines policies require higher premium taxes. D. Surplus lines policies may exclude certain state regulatory protections. Answer. D. Surplus lines policies may exclude certain state regulatory protections. Explanation. In Idaho, surplus lines insurance policies differ from standard admitted insurance policies primarily because surplus lines insurers are not licensed or admitted in the state. This non-admitted status means that surplus lines policies may exclude certain state regulatory protections or benefits typically available under admitted insurance policies. While surplus lines insurance is regulated to ensure consumer protection and compliance with surplus lines laws, the absence of state licensure allows insurers to offer tailored coverage for non-standard risks that admitted insurers may not cover. Question 41. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What role does effective communication play in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho? A. Minimizing insurer liability through limited communication. B. Ensuring timely and transparent communication with insureds. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making processes. D. Delaying communication to avoid claim settlements. Answer. B. Ensuring timely and transparent communication with insureds. Explanation. Effective communication is crucial in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho as it helps build trust, manage expectations, and ensure transparency throughout the claims process. Claims professionals should maintain open lines of communication with insureds, providing updates on claim status, explaining policy coverage and limitations, and addressing any concerns or inquiries promptly. By fostering clear and respectful communication, claims professionals enhance customer satisfaction, facilitate informed decision-making, and mitigate potential disputes or misunderstandings during claims resolution. Question 42. Claims settlement. How do surplus lines claims professionals determine the appropriateness of a settlement offer in Idaho? A. By denying claims to minimize insurer liabilities. B. By evaluating policy terms, evidence, and insured's interests. C. By offering settlements regardless of claim validity. D. By limiting access to legal representation for insureds. Answer. B. By evaluating policy terms, evidence, and insured's interests. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the appropriateness of a settlement offer by carefully evaluating policy terms, reviewing the evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and considering the insured's interests and entitlements under the policy. This process involves assessing the validity of the claim, analyzing coverage provisions, and ensuring that the settlement offer aligns with policy terms and regulatory requirements. By prioritizing thorough evaluation and consideration of all relevant factors, claims professionals can negotiate fair and equitable settlements that uphold insurer integrity and customer satisfaction. Question 43. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. What are the key challenges faced by surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho when evaluating the extent and value of a complex claim? A. Limited access to expert opinions and resources. B. Exclusion of certain policyholders from coverage. C. Lack of regulatory oversight in claims evaluation. Answer A. Limited access to expert opinions and resources. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho may face challenges when evaluating complex claims due to limited access to expert opinions and resources. Non-admitted insurers may have fewer resources or restrictions on accessing specialized experts or industry-specific data that could assist in accurately assessing the extent and value of a claim. This limitation requires claims professionals to rely on internal expertise, collaborate effectively with external specialists when available, and adhere closely to regulatory requirements to ensure fair and accurate claims evaluation. Question 44. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals consider when negotiating a settlement agreement for a disputed claim in Idaho? A. Insurer's profitability and financial reserves. B. Policy terms, evidence, and insured's expectations. C. Excluding insureds from settlement negotiations. D. Avoiding legal review of settlement terms. Answer. B. Policy terms, evidence, and insured's expectations. Explanation. When negotiating a settlement agreement for a disputed claim in surplus lines insurance in Idaho, claims professionals should consider policy terms, review the evidence gathered during the claims investigation, and take into account the insured's expectations and entitlements under the policy. This approach ensures that settlement negotiations are based on objective evaluation of the claim, alignment with policy provisions, and fair consideration of the insured's rights and interests. By prioritizing these factors, claims professionals can achieve mutually acceptable settlement outcomes while maintaining transparency and compliance with regulatory requirements. Question 45. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What are the advantages of resolving surplus lines insurance claims through alternative dispute resolution methods in Idaho? A. Expedited resolution and reduced litigation costs. B. Mandatory compliance with federal court procedures. C. Limited access to legal representation for insureds. D. Exclusion from state arbitration requirements. Question 46. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What are the key considerations for surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho when gathering and evaluating evidence in support of a claim? A. Excluding expert opinions to minimize costs. B. Conducting a cursory review of policy terms. C. Documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. D. Limiting communication with insureds and witnesses. Question 46. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What are the key considerations for surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho when gathering and evaluating evidence in support of a claim? A. Excluding expert opinions to minimize costs. B. Conducting a cursory review of policy terms. C. Documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. D. Limiting communication with insureds and witnesses. Answer. C. Documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho must prioritize documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody when gathering and evaluating evidence in support of a claim. This includes accurately recording investigation results, maintaining confidentiality and integrity of collected evidence, and ensuring adherence to procedural guidelines. Proper documentation and chain of custody protocols strengthen the credibility of evidence, support claims decisions, and facilitate compliance with regulatory requirements. Question 47. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. What ethical responsibilities do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho have regarding confidentiality and privacy in claims handling? A. Disclosing insured's personal information without consent. B. Limiting access to claim documentation for insureds. C. Ensuring confidentiality and privacy of insured's information. D. Avoiding communication with insureds during claims process. Answer: C. Ensuring confidentiality and privacy of insured's information. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho have ethical responsibilities to ensure confidentiality and privacy of insured's information during claims handling. This includes safeguarding sensitive personal and financial information, restricting access to authorized personnel only, and adhering to privacy laws and regulations. By maintaining confidentiality, claims professionals demonstrate respect for insured's privacy rights, protect against unauthorized disclosure or misuse of information, and uphold ethical standards in their professional practice. Question 48. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws? A. Denying claims based on policy exclusions only. B. Minimizing communication with insureds and regulators. C. Conducting thorough and objective claims investigations. D. Ignoring state insurance regulations. Answer: C. Conducting thorough and objective claims investigations. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws by conducting thorough and objective claims investigations. This includes evaluating claims based on policy terms, gathering relevant evidence, and applying consistent standards in claims decision-making. By adhering to fair claims practices, claims professionals uphold transparency, accountability, and fairness in their interactions with insureds, regulators, and stakeholders. Question 49. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What are the regulatory requirements that surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho must adhere to when negotiating and documenting settlement agreements? A. Avoiding disclosure of settlement terms to insureds. B. Ensuring compliance with state insurance laws and regulations. C. Excluding insureds from settlement negotiations. D. Offering settlements without reviewing policy terms. Answer: B. Ensuring compliance with state insurance laws and regulations. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho must adhere to regulatory requirements when negotiating and documenting settlement agreements. This includes ensuring compliance with state insurance laws, regulations governing surplus lines insurance, and specific requirements for settlement documentation. By adhering to regulatory standards, claims professionals uphold legal compliance, protect insured's rights, and mitigate potential disputes or regulatory scrutiny related to settlement practices. Question 50. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the accuracy and validity of evidence gathered during a claims investigation? A. Relying solely on insured statements without verification. B. Documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. C. Excluding expert opinions to minimize costs. D. Ignoring inconsistencies in evidence documentation. Answer: B. Documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the accuracy and validity of evidence gathered during a claims investigation by documenting findings and maintaining chain of custody. This involves systematically recording investigation results, preserving the integrity of collected evidence, and ensuring that evidence can be authenticated and used effectively in claims evaluation. By adhering to chain of custody protocols, claims professionals enhance the credibility and reliability of evidence, support claims decisions, and mitigate challenges related to evidence admissibility. Question 51. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What strategies should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho employ to effectively manage litigation expenses and resolve claims disputes? A. Avoiding legal counsel to minimize expenses. B. Limiting access to legal representation for insureds. C. Collaborating with legal counsel and leveraging mediation. D. Ignoring court procedures and deadlines. Answer: C. Collaborating with legal counsel and leveraging mediation. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should employ strategies such as collaborating with legal counsel and leveraging mediation to effectively manage litigation expenses and resolve claims disputes. Legal counsel provides expertise in navigating complex legal issues, representing insurer interests, and advocating for fair outcomes in litigation. Mediation offers a collaborative approach to resolving disputes outside of formal court proceedings, promoting efficiency, cost-effectiveness, and preservation of relationships between insureds and insurers. Question 52. Surplus lines insurance policy analysis. What are the implications of non-admitted insurers offering surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho? A. Reduced consumer choice in insurance coverage. B. Exemption from state insurance regulations. C. Higher premium taxes for insureds. D. Enhanced policy coverage options. Answer: B. Exemption from state insurance regulations. Explanation: non-admitted insurers offering surplus lines insurance policies in Idaho are exempt from certain state insurance regulations that apply to admitted insurers. This exemption allows surplus lines insurers to provide coverage for risks that admitted insurers may decline to cover, offering flexibility and tailored solutions for non-standard risks. However, it also means that surplus lines policies may not provide the same regulatory protections or benefits as policies issued by admitted insurers, such as access to state guarantee funds. Question 53. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What role does state regulation play in overseeing surplus lines insurance claims handling practices in Idaho? A. Exempting surplus lines claims from state oversight. B. Setting minimum claims handling standards. C. Prohibiting surplus lines insurers from issuing policies. D. Avoiding regulatory reporting requirements. Answer: B. Setting minimum claims handling standards. Explanation: state regulation in Idaho plays a critical role in overseeing surplus lines insurance claims handling practices by setting minimum standards for claims handling. These standards ensure that surplus lines insurers comply with fair claims practices, consumer protection laws, and regulatory requirements specific to surplus lines insurance. By establishing guidelines and monitoring compliance, state regulation promotes transparency, fairness, and accountability in surplus lines claims handling processes. Question 54. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho navigate conflicts of interest in claims handling? A. Prioritizing insurer interests over insured's rights. B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. C. Avoiding communication with insureds to minimize conflicts. D. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claim settlements. Answer: B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho navigate conflicts of interest in claims handling by disclosing any conflicts of interest to affected parties, including insureds, and taking steps to mitigate these conflicts through impartial decision-making and ethical practices. This approach ensures transparency, preserves trust, and upholds insured's rights throughout the claims handling process. By acknowledging and addressing conflicts of interest proactively, claims professionals demonstrate integrity, professionalism, and commitment to fair outcomes in claims resolution. Question 55. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What are the key considerations for surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho when interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in a claim? A. Conducting interviews without documenting findings. B. Limiting access to legal representation for interviewees. C. Documenting interview details and maintaining confidentiality. D. Excluding insureds from the interview process. Answer: C. Documenting interview details and maintaining confidentiality. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho must prioritize documenting interview details and maintaining confidentiality when interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in a claim. This includes accurately recording statements, documenting findings, and ensuring confidentiality of sensitive information disclosed during interviews. By adhering to these practices, claims professionals enhance the reliability of information gathered, protect privacy rights, and support fair and objective claims assessments. Question 56. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho consider when determining coverage and liability in a complex claim? A. Minimizing communication with insureds and regulators. B. Ignoring policy terms and exclusions. C. Conducting a thorough review of policy provisions and evidence. D. Offering settlements without reviewing claim validity. Answer: C. Conducting a thorough review of policy provisions and evidence. Explanation: Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should consider conducting a thorough review of policy provisions and evidence when determining coverage and liability in a complex claim. This involves analyzing policy terms, evaluating evidence collected during the claims investigation, and applying consistent standards to assess claim validity. By prioritizing these factors, claims professionals ensure accurate claims decisions, minimize disputes, and uphold insurer integrity in claims handling. Question 57. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What role does negotiation play in achieving fair and equitable settlements for surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho? A. Excluding insureds from settlement negotiations. B. Ignoring policy coverage and exclusions. C. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel to reach agreements. D. Offering settlements without considering insured's interests. Answer: C. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel to reach agreements. Explanation: negotiation plays a crucial role in achieving fair and equitable settlements for surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho by fostering collaboration between surplus lines claims professionals, insureds, and legal counsel. Effective negotiation involves discussing policy coverage, evaluating evidence, addressing insured's concerns, and reaching mutually acceptable agreements that comply with policy terms and regulatory requirements. By engaging in collaborative negotiation processes, claims professionals promote transparency, preserve relationships, and facilitate timely resolution of claims disputes. Question 58. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What are the primary roles and responsibilities of surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho during the claims handling process? A. Avoiding communication with insureds and witnesses. B. Limiting documentation of claims activities. C. Conducting thorough investigations and evaluating evidence. D. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. Answer: C. Conducting thorough investigations and evaluating evidence. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho have primary roles and responsibilities during the claims handling process, including conducting thorough investigations and evaluating evidence. This involves gathering relevant information, documenting findings, analyzing policy terms, and applying consistent standards to assess claim validity and determine coverage. By fulfilling these responsibilities, claims professionals ensure accurate claims decisions, uphold regulatory compliance, and maintain transparency in their interactions with insureds and stakeholders. Question 59. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho collaborate with legal counsel to manage litigation expenses and achieve favorable outcomes in claims disputes? A. Avoiding legal representation to minimize expenses. B. Limiting access to legal advice for insureds. C. Engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense. D. Ignoring court procedures and deadlines. Answer: C. Engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho collaborate with legal counsel by engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense to manage litigation expenses and achieve favorable outcomes in claims disputes. This involves analyzing legal issues, developing defense strategies, preparing evidence, and representing insurer interests effectively in court proceedings. By leveraging legal expertise and resources, claims professionals optimize litigation management, mitigate risks, and advocate for fair resolutions in disputes. Question 60. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prioritize when handling confidential information during claims investigations? A. Sharing confidential information without authorization. B. Ensuring secure storage and transmission of data. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. D. Ignoring privacy laws and regulations. Answer: B. Ensuring secure storage and transmission of data. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize ensuring secure storage and transmission of confidential information during claims investigations. This includes safeguarding sensitive data, restricting access to authorized personnel, and complying with privacy laws and regulations. By maintaining confidentiality and protecting privacy rights, claims professionals demonstrate ethical conduct, build trust with insureds, and mitigate risks associated with unauthorized disclosure or data breaches. Question 61. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What are the key factors that surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should consider when negotiating settlements? A. Offering settlements without reviewing policy coverage. B. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel. C. Excluding insureds from settlement discussions. D. Ignoring insured's interests in settlement terms. Answer: B. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should consider collaborating with insureds and legal counsel when negotiating settlements. This collaborative approach involves discussing policy coverage, evaluating evidence, addressing insured's concerns, and reaching mutually acceptable agreements that comply with policy terms and regulatory requirements. By engaging insureds and legal counsel in settlement discussions, claims professionals promote transparency, preserve relationships, and facilitate fair and equitable resolutions of claims disputes. Question 62. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the applicability of policy exclusions in complex claims scenarios? A. Ignoring policy language and exclusions. B. Conducting a cursory review of evidence. C. Applying consistent standards and policy interpretation. D. Denying claims without policy review. Answer: C. Applying consistent standards and policy interpretation. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the applicability of policy exclusions in complex claims scenarios by applying consistent standards and policy interpretation. This involves analyzing policy language, evaluating evidence, and interpreting exclusions within the context of the claim circumstances. By adhering to consistent standards, claims professionals ensure fair and objective assessments, uphold policy terms, and mitigate disputes related to coverage and liability. Question 63. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prioritize when handling claims involving potential conflicts of interest? A. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. B. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claim settlements. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. D. Prioritizing insurer interests over insured's rights. Answer: A. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions when handling claims involving potential conflicts of interest. This ethical approach involves transparently disclosing any conflicts to affected parties, including insureds, and taking steps to mitigate these conflicts through impartial decision-making and fair claims resolutions. By addressing conflicts of interest proactively, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, protect insured's rights, and maintain trust and integrity in claims handling. Question 64. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What strategies should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho employ to gather and evaluate evidence effectively in complex claims? A. Ignoring witness statements to expedite investigations. B. Documenting evidence and maintaining chain of custody. C. Excluding experts from claims investigations. D. Relying solely on insured statements. Answer: B. Documenting evidence and maintaining chain of custody. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should employ strategies such as documenting evidence and maintaining chain of custody to gather and evaluate evidence effectively in complex claims. This involves systematically recording investigation findings, preserving evidence integrity, and ensuring that evidence can be authenticated and utilized accurately in claims evaluation. By adhering to these practices, claims professionals enhance the credibility of their findings, support fair claims assessments, and mitigate challenges related to evidence admissibility. Question 65. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with regulatory requirements when negotiating and documenting settlement agreements? A. Offering settlements without considering policy terms. B. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel. C. Excluding insureds from settlement negotiations. D. Ignoring state insurance laws and regulations. Answer: B. Collaborating with insureds and legal counsel. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with regulatory requirements when negotiating and documenting settlement agreements by collaborating with insureds and legal counsel. This collaborative approach involves discussing policy terms, evaluating evidence, addressing insured's concerns, and reaching mutually acceptable agreements that comply with state insurance laws and regulations governing surplus lines insurance. By engaging insureds and legal counsel in settlement negotiations, claims professionals promote transparency, protect insured's rights, and uphold regulatory standards in claims handling. Question 66. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What are the advantages of utilizing alternative dispute resolution methods in surplus lines insurance claims litigation in Idaho? A. Avoiding legal expenses and delays associated with court trials. B. Limiting access to legal representation for insureds. C. Ignoring court procedures and deadlines. D. Excluding insureds from dispute resolution. Answer A. Avoiding legal expenses and delays associated with court trials. Explanation: utilizing alternative dispute resolution (ADA) methods in surplus lines insurance claims litigation in Idaho offers advantages such as avoiding legal expenses and delays associated with court trials. ADR methods like mediation or arbitration provide opportunities for expedited resolutions, cost savings, and maintaining relationships between insureds and insurers. By opting for ADR, claims professionals can achieve timely and efficient resolutions, mitigate litigation risks, and preserve resources for both parties involved in claims disputes. Question 67. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prioritize when handling claims involving multiple insureds and conflicting interests? A. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claim settlements. B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. D. Prioritizing insurer interests over insured's rights. Answer: B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize disclosing conflicts of interest and seeking impartial solutions when handling claims involving multiple insureds and conflicting interests. This ethical approach involves transparently disclosing any conflicts to affected parties, including insureds, and taking steps to mitigate these conflicts through impartial decision-making and fair claims resolutions. By addressing conflicts of interest proactively, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, protect insured's rights, and maintain trust and integrity in claims handling. Question 68. Surplus lines insurance policy analysis. What are the implications of surplus lines insurance policies being non-admitted in Idaho? A. Exemption from state regulations. B. Access to state guarantee funds. C. Low premiums for insureds. D. Increased consumer protections. Answer A. Exemption from state regulations. Explanation: surplus lines insurance policies being non-admitted in Idaho means they are exempt from certain state regulations that apply to admitted insurers. This exemption allows surplus lines insurers to provide coverage for risks that admitted insurers may decline to cover, offering flexibility and tailored solutions for non-standard risks. However, it also means that surplus lines policies may not provide the same regulatory protections or benefits as policies issued by admitted insurers, such as access to state guarantee funds. Question 69. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What role does effective communication play in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho? A. Limiting communication to insureds and stakeholders. B. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. C. Enhancing transparency and understanding among parties. D. Ignoring regulatory reporting requirements. Answer: C. Enhancing transparency and understanding among parties. Explanation: effective communication plays a crucial role in surplus lines insurance claims handling in Idaho by enhancing transparency and understanding among insureds, stakeholders, and claims professionals. Clear and consistent communication fosters trust, facilitates information exchange, and ensures that all parties are informed about claim status, expectations, and responsibilities. By promoting open dialogue and transparency, claims professionals can mitigate misunderstandings, resolve issues promptly, and maintain positive relationships throughout the claims handling process. Question 70. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the adequacy of reserves for a complex claim? A. Relying solely on initial claim estimates. B. Ignoring policy coverage and exclusions. C. Conducting ongoing claim reviews and adjustments. D. Excluding insureds from reserve assessments. Answer: C. Conducting ongoing claim reviews and adjustments. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the adequacy of reserves for a complex claim by conducting ongoing claim reviews and adjustments. This involves regularly reassessing claim circumstances, evaluating additional evidence, and adjusting reserve amounts based on emerging information and developments in the claims process. By maintaining proactive reserve management practices, claims professionals ensure that reserves accurately reflect potential claim costs, support financial stability, and facilitate timely and fair claims resolutions. Question 71. Surplus lines insurance claims process. What are the implications of surplus lines insurance being regulated at the state level in Idaho? A. Consistent regulatory oversight across states. B. Exemption from state insurance laws. C. Compliance with state-specific regulations and requirements. D. Limited availability of surplus lines insurance products. Answer: C. Compliance with state-specific regulations and requirements. Explanation: surplus lines insurance being regulated at the state level in Idaho means that insurers and surplus lines professionals must comply with state-specific regulations and requirements governing surplus lines transactions. This includes licensing requirements, reporting obligations, tax compliance, and adherence to state insurance laws applicable to surplus lines insurance placements. By ensuring compliance with state regulations, surplus lines professionals uphold legal standards, protect consumer interests, and maintain regulatory oversight in surplus lines insurance markets. Question 72. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prepare for and manage litigation involving complex coverage disputes? A. Ignoring legal counsel's advice on defense strategies. B. Limiting access to evidence and documentation. C. Engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense. D. Excluding insureds from litigation proceedings. Answer: C. Engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prepare for and manage litigation involving complex coverage disputes by engaging in strategic litigation planning and defense. This involves collaborating with legal counsel to analyze legal issues, develop defense strategies, prepare evidence, and represent insurer interests effectively in court proceedings. By leveraging legal expertise and strategic planning, claims professionals optimize litigation management, mitigate risks, and pursue favorable outcomes in disputes over coverage and liability. Question 73. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What are the primary differences between surplus lines insurance and standard admitted insurance in Idaho? A. Availability of coverage for non-standard risks. B. Low premiums for insureds. C. Exemption from state insurance regulations. D. Access to state guarantee funds. Answer A. Availability of coverage for non-standard risks. Explanation: one of the primary differences between surplus lines insurance and standard admitted insurance in Idaho is the availability of coverage for non-standard risks. Surplus lines insurers provide coverage for risks that admitted insurers may decline to cover, offering customized solutions for unique or high-risk exposures. This flexibility allows surplus lines insurance to meet specialized insurance needs that may not be addressed by standard admitted insurance markets. Question 74. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho assess the impact of policy endorsements on claim coverage? A. Ignoring policy endorsements in claim evaluations. B. Reviewing policy endorsements and their implications. C. Excluding insureds from claim decision-making. D. Relying solely on initial claim estimates. Answer: B. Reviewing policy endorsements and their implications. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho assess the impact of policy endorsements on claim coverage by reviewing policy endorsements and their implications carefully. Policy endorsements modify or extend coverage under the base policy, affecting claim eligibility, exclusions, and limits. By understanding and analyzing policy endorsements, claims professionals ensure accurate claim evaluations, apply policy terms correctly, and communicate coverage decisions effectively to insureds and stakeholders. Question 75. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho consider when determining settlement authority levels for claims handling? A. Excluding insureds from settlement discussions. B. Relying on initial claim estimates for settlement decisions. C. Establishing clear guidelines and authority limits. D. Ignoring insured's interests in settlement terms. Answer: C. Establishing clear guidelines and authority limits. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should consider establishing clear guidelines and authority limits when determining settlement authority levels for claims handling. This involves defining thresholds for claims settlement approvals based on factors such as claim complexity, financial impact, policy terms, and regulatory requirements. By setting transparent guidelines, claims professionals ensure consistency, accountability, and informed decision-making in settlement negotiations, while also balancing insured's interests and insurer responsibilities. Question 76. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. What role does evidence evaluation play in determining coverage and liability in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho? A. Ignoring evidence to expedite claim decisions. B. Conducting thorough evidence evaluation and analysis. C. Excluding insureds from evidence review. D. Relying solely on witness statements. Answer: B. Conducting thorough evidence evaluation and analysis. Explanation: evidence evaluation plays a crucial role in determining coverage and liability in surplus lines insurance claims in Idaho by ensuring thorough and objective assessment of claim circumstances. Surplus lines claims professionals should conduct comprehensive evaluation of evidence, including documentation, witness statements, expert opinions, and other relevant information. This process allows claims professionals to accurately interpret policy terms, assess claim eligibility, and determine insurer liability based on factual evidence and policy provisions. Question 77. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics. What ethical considerations should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prioritize when handling claims involving confidential information? A. Sharing confidential information with unauthorized parties. B. Maintaining confidentiality and privacy of information. C. Excluding insureds from claims communication. D. Ignoring confidentiality requirements. Answer: B. Maintaining confidentiality and privacy of information. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize maintaining confidentiality and privacy of information when handling claims involving confidential details. This ethical consideration involves safeguarding sensitive information such as personal data, financial records, and claim specifics from unauthorized access or disclosure. By adhering to confidentiality requirements, claims professionals protect insured's privacy rights, maintain trust, and comply with legal and ethical standards governing confidentiality in claims handling. Question 78. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure fairness and equity in settlement negotiations? A. Excluding insureds from settlement discussions. B. Negotiating settlements based on insurer preferences only. C. Considering insured's interests and policy terms in negotiations. D. Ignoring insured's input in settlement terms. Answer: C. Considering insured's interests and policy terms in negotiations. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure fairness and equity in settlement negotiations by considering insured's interests and policy terms. This approach involves discussing settlement options with insureds, evaluating evidence and policy coverage, and reaching agreements that align with both parties' expectations and legal obligations. By involving insureds in negotiations and considering their perspectives, claims professionals promote transparency, protect insured's rights, and facilitate fair and equitable resolutions of claims disputes. Question 79. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What steps should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho take to effectively manage legal expenses during claims litigation? A. Engaging in costly litigation without legal counsel. B. Setting budgetary limits and monitoring expenses. C. Ignoring court deadlines and procedures. D. Excluding insureds from litigation planning. Answer: B. Setting budgetary limits and monitoring expenses. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should take steps such as setting budgetary limits and monitoring expenses to effectively manage legal costs during claims litigation. This involves collaborating with legal counsel, establishing cost-effective litigation strategies, and monitoring expenditures to ensure alignment with budgetary constraints and insurer resources. By proactively managing legal expenses, claims professionals optimize financial stewardship, mitigate litigation risks, and maintain accountability in legal proceedings. Question 80. Surplus lines insurance policy analysis. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho interpret policy language and exclusions to determine coverage eligibility? A. Ignoring policy language in claim assessments. B. Relying solely on insured's interpretations of policy terms. C. Applying legal principles and industry standards to policy analysis. D. Excluding insureds from policy review processes. Answer. C. Applying legal principles and industry standards to policy analysis. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho interpret policy language and exclusions to determine coverage eligibility by applying legal principles and industry standards to policy analysis. This involves analyzing policy terms, definitions, exclusions, and endorsements within the context of insurance law, regulatory requirements, and prevailing industry practices. By employing a structured approach to policy interpretation, claims professionals ensure accurate assessment of coverage eligibility, uphold policy terms, and facilitate informed decision-making in claims handling. Question 81. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What considerations should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho prioritize when negotiating settlements for complex claims? A. Ignoring insured's expectations and concerns. B. Offering settlements without evaluating evidence. C. Considering policy terms, evidence, and insured's interests. D. Excluding insureds from settlement discussions. Answer. C. Considering policy terms, evidence, and insured's interests. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should prioritize considerations such as policy terms, evidence, and insured's interests when negotiating settlements for complex claims. This approach involves reviewing policy coverage, assessing claim evidence, understanding insured's expectations, and negotiating settlements that align with policy provisions and fair claim valuations. By integrating these considerations, claims professionals promote transparency, protect insured's rights, and facilitate mutually acceptable settlement agreements. Question 82. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. What are the key roles and responsibilities of surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho during the claims handling process? A. Ignoring insured's communications to expedite claim resolution. B. Communicating claim status and expectations effectively. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making. D. Focusing solely on insurer interests during negotiations. Answer. B. Communicating claim status and expectations effectively. Explanation. The key roles and responsibilities of surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho during the claims handling process include communicating claim status and expectations effectively to insureds and stakeholders. This involves providing clear and timely updates on claim progress, explaining coverage decisions, and managing expectations regarding claim outcomes. Effective communication fosters transparency, reduces misunderstandings, and enhances trust between claims professionals, insureds, and other parties involved in the claims process. Question 83. Surplus lines insurance claims evaluation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the applicability of state regulations to surplus lines insurance transactions? A. Relying solely on federal regulations for guidance. B. Ignoring state regulations to streamline claims processing. C. Consulting state-specific insurance laws and regulations. D. Excluding insureds from regulatory compliance discussions. Answer. C. Consulting state-specific insurance laws and regulations. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho determine the applicability of state regulations to surplus lines insurance transactions by consulting state-specific insurance laws and regulations. Each state has its own regulatory framework governing surplus lines insurance, including licensing requirements, tax obligations, reporting mandates, and compliance standards. By understanding and adhering to state regulations, claims professionals ensure legal compliance, uphold insurer obligations, and mitigate regulatory risks in surplus lines insurance transactions. Question 84. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics and professionalism. How should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho handle conflicts of interest during claims handling? A. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claim resolutions. B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and managing them impartially. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making processes. D. Prioritizing insurer interests over insured's rights. Answer: B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and managing them impartially. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should handle conflicts of interest during claims handling by disclosing conflicts of interest and managing them impartially. This ethical approach involves transparently disclosing any conflicts to affected parties, including insureds, and taking steps to mitigate these conflicts through impartial decision-making and fair claims resolutions. By addressing conflicts of interest proactively, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, protect insured's rights, and maintain trust and integrity in claims handling. Question 85. Surplus lines insurance claims settlement. What factors should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho consider when evaluating settlement options for a disputed claim? A. Ignoring insured's preferences in settlement negotiations. B. Evaluating evidence, policy terms, and legal principles. C. Excluding insureds from settlement discussions. D. Relying solely on initial settlement offers. Answer: B. Evaluating evidence, policy terms, and legal principles. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should consider factors such as evaluating evidence, policy terms, and legal principles when evaluating settlement options for a disputed claim. This involves reviewing the evidence gathered during the claims investigation, analyzing how the policy terms apply to the claim circumstances, and applying relevant legal principles to determine the insurer's liability and the insured's entitlement to coverage. By conducting a thorough evaluation, claims professionals ensure that settlement offers are fair, reasonable, and based on the merits of the claim. Question 86. Surplus lines insurance claims investigation. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho collaborate with outside experts and specialists during claims investigation? A. Excluding outside experts from claim evaluation. B. Consulting with outside experts to assess claim details. C. Ignoring insured's input on expert recommendations. D. Relying solely on internal assessments for claims. Answer: B. Consulting with outside experts to assess claim details. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho collaborate with outside experts and specialists during claims investigation by consulting with them to assess claim details and gather expert opinions. This collaboration may involve engaging forensic specialists, engineers, legal counsel, or other experts to provide insights and evaluations related to claim circumstances, evidence, or technical aspects. By leveraging external expertise, claims professionals enhance the accuracy of claim assessments, strengthen evidence collection, and facilitate informed decision-making in claims handling. Question 87. Surplus lines insurance claims litigation. What are the benefits of resolving surplus lines insurance claims through alternative dispute resolution methods in Idaho? A. Avoiding legal expenses and court proceedings. B. Excluding insureds from dispute resolution processes. C. Ignoring insurer interests in dispute resolution. D. Relying solely on litigation for claim resolution. Answer: A. Avoiding legal expenses and court proceedings. Explanation: the benefits of resolving surplus lines insurance claims through alternative dispute resolution methods in Idaho include avoiding legal expenses and court proceedings. ADR methods such as mediation or arbitration offer insurers and insureds a cost-effective and expedient means to resolve disputes outside of traditional litigation. By opting for ADR, parties can potentially reduce legal costs, expedite claim resolutions, maintain confidentiality, and preserve business relationships. This approach also allows for more flexible and collaborative dispute resolution, where parties can actively participate in crafting mutually acceptable solutions. Question 88. Surplus lines insurance policy analysis. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho differentiate between primary and excess insurance coverage in complex claim scenarios? A. Ignoring policy provisions related to coverage limits. B. Reviewing policy terms and conditions thoroughly. C. Excluding insureds from coverage discussions. D. Relying solely on initial coverage determinations. Answer: B. Reviewing policy terms and conditions thoroughly. Explanation: surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho differentiate between primary and excess insurance coverage in complex claim scenarios by reviewing policy terms and conditions thoroughly. This involves analyzing the specific provisions related to coverage limits, deductibles, and the coordination of coverage between primary and excess insurers. By understanding these policy nuances, claims professionals can accurately determine the extent of coverage provided by each policy layer, ensure compliance with contractual obligations, and facilitate coordinated claims handling efforts among insurers. Question 89. Surplus lines insurance claims handling. How do surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws? A. Ignoring consumer protection laws to expedite claims processing. B. Adhering to established claims handling guidelines and regulations. C. Excluding insureds from claims process reviews. D. Relying solely on internal assessments for claims compliance. Answer. B. Adhering to established claims handling guidelines and regulations. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho ensure compliance with fair claims practices and consumer protection laws by adhering to established claims handling guidelines and regulations. This involves familiarizing themselves with state-specific laws governing claims practices, such as prompt claims handling, fair settlement practices, and disclosure requirements. By following these guidelines, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, protect insured's rights, and mitigate regulatory risks associated with claims processing. Question 90. Surplus lines insurance claims ethics and professionalism. How should surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho handle conflicts of interest when managing claims involving multiple insured parties? A. Ignoring conflicts of interest to expedite claim resolutions. B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and managing impartially. C. Excluding insureds from claims decision-making processes. D. Prioritizing insurer interests over insured's rights. Answer. B. Disclosing conflicts of interest and managing impartially. Explanation. Surplus lines claims professionals in Idaho should handle conflicts of interest when managing claims involving multiple insured parties by disclosing conflicts of interest and managing them impartially. This ethical approach involves transparently disclosing any conflicts to affected parties, including insureds, and taking steps to mitigate these conflicts through impartial decision-making, fair treatment, and equitable claims resolutions. By addressing conflicts of interest proactively, claims professionals uphold ethical standards, protect insured's rights, and maintain trust and integrity in claims handling.